Hey everybody, I'm Balin.
I'm Kokro.
And I'm Anansi.
And this is the Gurreck Show. And this week we're going to talk about something we have yet to talk about, being mercs. Building merc armor.
What?
Crazy stuff, I know.
I know.
Build it?
Yes, we make this ourselves. Well, make, buy, appropriate, differentially.
Appropriate.
Yes. You come buy your stuff, especially when it comes to greebles.
Greebles. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Greebles.
Yeah, Greebles.
Nobody buys greebles. You find greebles.
Greebles are just like being a magpie. You're like, oh, this is cool. I like it. I'll keep it. And then it gathers dust. But you're like, but it could be really cool.
Or you throw it in a bucket and, broken McDonald's toys are a great source of little fun doodads and doohickeys.
Hanging out behind the tire shop, you find all kinds of really cool parts.
Habitat for Humanity.
Oh.
I've found a lot of really cheap, cool things. I don't think I've used many, but they're there.
I used to have a friend that worked for a aviation company and in the supply department, and so certain things would get used once or twice and they'd get thrown out, or when parts were replaced, and he would go through the trash bins, and we would get all kinds of amazing greebles. What is it?
Oh, yeah.
I bet that would be cool.
That can stand up to a lot of high stress.
Yes.
One of my
temperatures.
Favorites that I have been gathering are the little CO2 canisters for making whipped cream. And I've been saving those because you use the CO2 and then you're left with this like tiny little oddly shaped cylinder thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a bunch of those in my Mando box just waiting to be turned into like an ammo belt. And I'm very excited about it. But that's really every time my husband makes whipped cream, I'm like, give it to me. Give me the shiny thing.
We have them from my son's BB gun, and they're fun to play with. You can actually, if you get real creative, you can actually cut the top off and use it as to cut foam.
Oh, interesting.
Or put a different.
The more you know.
On it. So you can create different kinds of ammunition for your Mandalorian gun belt. So there you go, folks.
Oh yeah.
So favorite
glue sticks make very good shotgun shells.
Really? Huh. Wait, he's got an example.
Shotgun shell. Before?
Oh, well, this actually.
And after.
Oh, wait, that's not one of them. I don't have one with me. Never mind.
Well, this is a before. But with a little creativity, you could see how that could become a shotgun shell.
Oh, yeah.
No, I get it. I never thought of it before.
Yes, especially if you take the little plunger bit and you pull that out and flip it around. It's got all kinds of really cool, it's conical, and it's got all kinds of really awesome little grooves on it. So it makes a good, like, awesome little
doodad
bullet to go in the shell. Yes.
Doodads are always good.
Yeah. Go use up all your glue sticks and you'll see.
You've got your typical armor that you can make out of, Sentra, fiberglass, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like what really makes a kit is all of the little details. Like, yes, you can have different shapes and you can cut different angles and have whatever. But I feel like the weathering and the details is what's going to tell the story at first glance when you're looking at your kit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That'll give it your own. That's how you put your own little spin and personality on it, is by what you add to it or what you take from it, I guess, when you smash it up.
And it hurts to do that.
It does.
It hurts.
It does.
Every time.
I almost cried when I started putting damage on my helmet. It's so beautiful and pristine, and here comes the rasp. Here we go.
I would say with my first helmet, I felt that way. But the second, like when I took that knife to the helmet, I was like, this is liberating and it's fun. And I can add so much more dimension physically than I can with paint.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that aspect. But I had to get over that. I was so scared with my first helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to do anything to it that was like, what if I mess up? I don't know how to fix it. Now I'm just like, I can put spot putty on it. It's fine.
Oh yeah. Every mistake is weathering.
Yeah, and if,
Every mistake becomes a news story. You're like, well,
I mean, Balin, didn't you drop your entire helmet?
oh, multiple times, and it's shattered. It's
I think you hit a nerve.
first couple of times it bounced, and then after that it started, breaking in half, and then you go back and put it back together. And I've actually gotten to the point I can put it back together now where you can't even tell it's been broken, which is good and
That's
bad.
amazing. Because didn't it like break into a couple of pieces?
It did.
The last time it fell,
it was very sad.
It was
the back
heartbreaking. It broke into 4 pieces, and you can't tell.
Oh.
Actually, I actually managed to fix a break.
That's a remarkable job.
Fixed a crack in it that was left from the last time it fell, and now it's gone. So it's like, yay, all fixed, yay. But now I have new helmets to make.
Nice. What is your least favorite part of the armor building process?
Knees. I hate knees.
I'm gonna say sanding.
That's that time.
I hate sanding, and I have to do so much of it with my jetpack. Like it's just daunting. I'm not a huge fan of 3D prints. I like the fact that they're accessible, but I don't like the extra work involved. I feel like part of me is like, I'd rather just make this out of Sintra and I could make it all pretty. But I wanted a specific type, so that's what I got. And
3D printing, when I started, 3D printing was still so far in its infancy that nobody really had a printer, and if they did, the work needed to bring it to usability was ridiculous because it was like resolution was like 5 millimeters thick. It was like layers of a eraser. But now now my latest helmet project is a 3D print, and the guy that printed it for me, it's like 2 coats of filler primer, and there's print lines.
Smooth.
Do you sand it before you do the filler primer?
I do.
Or do you do the filler primer first?
This one, sanding it is a strong term for what I did first. I scuffed it with the green scrubby. Okay. And then washed everything off, and then once it dried, I started laying primer and lay primer, sand, lay primer, sand.
I might have to try that because I was trying to sand it all smooth first and then add, enough primer to fill in all the rest of the gaps. But I feel like that might be a better way to go.
Yeah, it also depends too on the resolution.
My least favorite is the back plate.
Capes.
Yeah, the back plate.
Back plate. The back plate is just awful because it is conforming to you, and the shoulders have to line up, and so you're like, oh well, I need to cut a little bit here, and I need to.
You can't do a back plate alone.
Bend. No, you cannot. Well,
you need somebody who one knows what they're doing, because if you don't, then everything's going to be out of whack, and then you just can't do it yourself. That's really difficult. No, not everybody has a pair that can help.
No.
Now that's probably the hardest part of doing this particular type of costuming is, we don't get our stuff in, we don't get Big Brown Box Day where we get a kit where everything's pre-made and pre-molded. We get a sheet of plastic or a sheet of steel if you're a certain guy up in Canada, and we have to shape it to ourselves, and you can't just, well, I'm going to shape this here because once you do that, you're now changed the shape of your chest, and when you go lay flat, now it doesn't fit. So we have to have help.
Yeah, it's this side shy of being a smith.
But that's why you have a clan to help. Yeah, right. Oh, it cracked. It broke.
Nope, it didn't break. That's
battle damage.
Battle damage. And you get your glue, and you get some nice
putty,
some epoxy sculpt.
You puts it back together, and you make it look like a weld line, and there you go.
I will 100% back spot putty as being my favorite crafting item. When it comes to mercenary stuff.
Oh my
gosh. Because the stuff you can do with that thing, it's so great.
Oh yeah, the epoxy sculpt or whatever your brand of a putty is.
Any kind, yeah.
So great. light years beyond anything that Bondo can do. And Bondo is good for its usage.
Bondo's just so heavy, though.
Yeah, and toxic.
Like, so heavy.
Like,
and
got to wear a mask, and you got to wear gloves, and you got
I
to
worked with it with my knee.
be really
my
fast.
knees for my first kit. Yeah, you have to work really fast. It hardens very, very quickly, and it gets everywhere. Like, you can try really hard to keep it consolidated, but that stuff gets everywhere, whether it's the goop as you're mixing it or the dust that comes afterwards. And then it's just so heavy.
Yes.
My knees are always kind of like tilting down on my first kit.
I'm a big fan for stuff like a lot of the stuff that we use Bondo. I'm a fan of micro balloon, which is little glass beads. They're it's almost like sand, but it's glass beads that you mix with 2-part epoxy. You can put it on like Bondo, sand it like Bondo, but it's like 1/10 of the weight.
Huh.
And 3 times
I've never
stronger.
heard of that.
It's
the more you know.
Yeah.
It's like my actual the knees that are on most of my kits, because I kind of swap knees back and forth. They're actually made from craft foam that was then coated with this stuff. And I can kneel in them, and then we did a layer of fiberglass. So they're.
Can you link that to the comments?
I will try and find a link for it, because I always got it from one of those things I always got from somebody else. So
I'm so curious because I've never heard of it before, and that sounds like the stuff I want to play with.
Not cheap, and you get a huge bucket of it. But
excellent.
Like I said, you mix it with 2-part epoxy, and you can spread it in wherever you need it to go. It's fun stuff.
You just get a giant one for the clan and write it off. You're like, we all share.
Yeah, sure. So
it's for the foundlings, guys. It's for the foundlings.
No, you can't make antlers. Stop.
Well, I can.
No.
Viking Mando.
No.
No.
Oh, yes. Now I have to.
There's enough with horns. I think there's enough of Mandos with horns.
There are a lot of Mandos with horns.
There's a lot of Mandos with horns. I don't think I've ever seen one with antlers, though.
Well, then it's time. It's time.
In my big mouth.
You brought this upon yourself.
Okay.
I mean, I would love to see them.
Had an 8-point buck or a Mandalorian?
It's both.
You better wear orange.
Good point.
Everything for a buck.
That's on your. See, you unleashed this.
It's a Toy Story reference. Sorry.
So, favorite part of the armor?
That's what I was about to ask.
Well, I asked first, so you go now.
I love accessories, especially weapons.
Yay!
Woo! I love weapons. I love making weapons. I love making weapons. Weapons. They're just so fun.
Are there any particular weapons
that you
like? You like pew-pews?
This one.
Like
tell us about that one. What did you use for a base? How did you do it?
Well, let me tell you. This, you know how you get a lot of people that say, "Oh, don't use Nerf. It's a big pain in the butt. Don't even bother." This is 2 Nerf guns put together.
Frankenstein.
Got a recon body up here, and you've got the sling fire for a stock, because I love the stock, because it's got
it's a good stock.
It is good. It fits in the hand, fits on the shoulder, but yeah. And then I was actually over at Balin's place, and I kept trying to attach these two, and it kept falling down. He's like, you know what?
Maybe you should make that a breech load.
And I was like, oh,
for your glue stick.
On your glue stick.
And so yeah, so it's a breech.
That is so cool.
The mechanism, and actually I made it so the barrel can pop out for transportation.
It's magic.
You need a short barrel to put on it.
I have a short barrel to
a
put
sawed
on
off.
it, by the way.
And there we go.
And you know what the muzzle is? It's a lock bolt. It's a lock bolt from a car that I found laying around on the ground.
Greebles.
Exactly.
Who knew?
One of my favorite accessories is my boy Leroy.
Leroy. Hi, Leroy.
He's not talking today. He's a little irritated with me.
We're gonna cook Leroy.
No, we're not going to cook Leroy. He is friend, not food. He's my spotter. See, he even has armor. He's got a rank rope. Okay, you got to be nice to him.
Friendly food goes down
Leroy
easier.
is so much better than you. He has a rank rope.
Yes, but I'm still working on making a saddle for him so he can sit up on my shoulder. But he's my favorite accessory. He's gotten a lot of love at different events, especially some of the cons that we've done. That he gets rowdy at some of the cons, especially if they're hotel cons. He
gets really popular, and there's lots of pictures that surface
yes.
of his adventures.
We've had to delete a lot of pictures.
Quite a few because he's got a drinking problem.
He's got his own OnlyFans site, so
that's a new one.
He's a married Kowakian monkey lizard, and the evidence could destroy his marriage.
Totally. But he makes rent that way, so we don't judge.
He does help pay the rent.
Would you call him your favorite part, or just the accessory, or your favorite accessory? But what about your favorite part of the armor?
He's probably one of my favorite accessories to my kids.
Okay.
He doesn't get to go out as often as he used to, but he's a staple at the table when we do events at cons.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my favorite accessory, if we're talking accessories, for my new kid, I've put a lot of thought in that she's going to be carrying around a box set and a bunch of credits. So she'll be ready to play at conventions if there's downtime somewhere.
You said box set. I thought she was like carrying around like DVDs or something.
No,
these are my favorite movies.
Sabak.
You haven't seen the original version? Oh
my god, this is the unedited, non-special edition. no, Sabak. So I can play cards.
She's a gambler.
And gamble. I mean,
there's a hotline for that.
So I've got a Sabak problem. I like my little click clacks, my credits.
Your shinies.
My shinies. I also just think the game is really fun and fascinating and has its own strategies depending on which version you play. So I like the little accessories that tell the story of your backstory.
My mother was a Jedi and my daddy was no. Yeah.
No, they weren't. No.
No, just no.
No,
we're gonna shatter your dreams right now.
Yes, I'm gonna have to get my orange flight suit for my Mando. Yes.
But for parts of the armor, I would have to say the helmet.
Yeah.
I think I've said it before on different videos or whatever that we've done. But I really feel like the helmet is the one that you can carry around when you're not in kit and be like, this is who I am. This is it. It can be on the table and that's you. That's what everybody sees. That's what everybody thinks about is your helmet. And I just love how much stuff can go into that and the detail and the battle damage and the stories that the battle damage tells. Like, at least when I do my weathering, I like to think about what would create this. It's like, what kind of battle were they in? What was the situation?
What sort of three-clawed beast?
Yeah, what sort of three-clawed beast? I admit that I think on my first kit, yeah, it's almost 3 claws on my first helmet. I have it here, and I fell into that trap of it should have claw marks on it, guys. But
no,
it's almost 3 claws. I think after I heard that, I'm like, maybe I should adjust it to like 2. So
let me get some touch-up paint. You're like,
not
hot buddy.
Doom. But I feel like what really makes my helmet as like the wings. I have a fascination, I guess, with the sky and flying and birds and what have you, but I worked really hard finding something that spoke to me, and I feel like the wings really do that for me. And I've mimicked it in my second kit without being so like blatantly obvious. And I've added it in different ways. So it's not exactly on the new helmet, but I've added like little wings to the ear caps out of chest diamonds. So you've got all of that, but the whole thing is based off a bird anyway. So the side capes look like wings. And then there might be some design aspects to the jetpack, but I really feel like that speaks to me personally. But I can convey that in different ways on two different helmets. So
that's, like you're saying, it's the identity. You can go to a con and look at a table and see, whose helmets are here. It's like, oh, okay, so and so's here.
yeah, exactly. It's like
I've
your
had
calling
people
card.
that don't recognize this face, but they recognize my helmet, and they're like, "Oh, Balin,
Yeah.
where?"
He's here. Oh, my friend's here.
And yeah, it's you recognize the paint, and even beyond the helmet, when you start getting into the full armor and seeing, there's only so many variations of our armor and so many colors available. But in 12 years, I don't think I've ever seen a direct, unintentional duplicate. Let me put it that way.
That's another thing that I love so much about the Mandalorian Mercenaries, because we have that stylistic freedom. We have that artistic ability to customize our kit to fit us, but still be within a world and our CRLs that we can be approvable. And it just feels like
We can all tell the same story.
yeah, same
Part of-
story, but in a different way that's unique to us. And I love that. I really do. Cannot stress that enough.
And that was actually one of my favorite parts. I'm going to jump way on the Wayback Machine to last year when Mandalorian dropped in Chapter 3, and we first time really see on screen, live action, more Mandalorians. And again, same general armor styles for most of them, but no two looked alike.
I love it. That just gives me so much satisfaction as a Mandalorian mercenary to see us and what we do represented as canon, because we've talked about what's on screen is canon. Callback.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm like, yeah, we are a part of the Star Wars universe because we
That's
have
right.
this type of variation. We belong here.
We got Spot Putty, damn it.
We got Spot Buddy, and I'm not afraid to use it.
It's a car part.
The car part.
I got a distributor cap for a grenade, and
I'm sorry, if you can use a woman's shave razor as a communicator, you can do anything.
Yes,
Like, if you do the right stuff, put the right greebles on it, and you have a drive and a dream, you can do it.
all you got
And Spot Putty.
and super glue. Don't leave out the
And
super glue.
super glue.
that was inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you.
We ain't right tonight.
Gonna make t-shirts. It'll be fun.
With the dream and
Putty.
Spot Putty, you can accomplish it.
You can make the man of your dreams.
The Mando of your dreams.
Well, there we go.
Oh,
Ooh. If you want to build a Mando,
spray the
Doesn't
paint.
have to be a Mando.
we can tell you how.
Yes.
Below.
Click on the links.
Click the link.
He's gonna
Join
put
us.
Put links here too. I want links like wherever I point.
No.
Okay.
No.
And that's how it works in this clan.
Yes.
I ask for things and I get told no.
Exactly.
So
Make note of it. No.
Note. No.
supposed to hit the yes button, not the no button. The blue button. The blue
The
button.
yes button is a lot smaller and it's way out of reach.
We'll get longer arms.
You have to work for it.
I have to shoot
Gotta
it
work for that, yes.
Shoot it with your pew pew.
with my pew pew.
Yes, with your pew pew. We have devolved. I apologize to those of you that are still watching. This has
I
gone.
don't apologize. They signed up for this when they clicked play.
It's a podcast. We have no structure.
Nope.
No, we don't.
There is only chaos.
That's how you do it.
But happy chaos.
Happy chaos. Good
Yay.
chaos. Creative chaos.
And you've learned something that with the dream and Spot Putty, you can accomplish anything.
you can do anything. We believe in you.
Yes. What else we got?
What
other
else we
parts
got?
Building armor. Soft parts. We would be
Oh.
remiss if we didn't talk about the paint in the rear end that are the soft parts.
Oh, soft parts.
I haven't had too much trouble with them.
Sometimes they can be difficult. I'm a bigger girl, and one, having the curves of a female, and two, having the curves of a fluffy female, I can't find like decent scrubs that fit correctly without a lot of modification. So I tend to go for more of the athletic wear route without being like too thin or too annoying, just because it fits better. And I sometimes wish I could go the scrubs route. I think I tried my very first kit, and my very first idea was kind of like a desert kit. So I had like the tan scrubs, but I just couldn't get it to work and fit right to where I didn't feel like a potato sack. So I ditched it and I went with something a little more form fitting, and I think I was happier with it. So that's what I've stuck with. It's harder to find athletic wear, or at least, tighter fit wear that matches the same color. That's my big problem. I could sew my own stuff, but I feel like with my body type, it's just easier to go with maybe something that's a little more forgiving.
It's hard to find athletic wear that doesn't have designs.
Yes.
Like it has to have a stripe.
Like just give me plain, black, simple, and make it stay up. I don't want to constantly be pulling up my pants because they don't stay up.
That's why I quit on scrubs.
That's super annoying.
I tried to put little snaps on there, but then you're in the middle of a troop and you're pop. Like, oh no.
You're like, shit, my pants are about to fall down.
I use suspenders with mine.
It's not a bad idea. If it worked for Adam Driver, it can work for us.
That's what I went with. But one of my, again, pulling my old man card, I've been here for a while. It used to be you could take an off the shelf or off the rack flight suit or set of coveralls and you were golden. Now you have to tailor them. They can't be too baggy, can't be too tight.
Yeah,
for some people, the coveralls work okay. I will definitely always make my own flak vest, though. I feel like that's a little easier. It's a little more forgiving, and I use elastic in like the shoulders and the sides, so it fits snugger, but gives me the movement without moving the plates. So that's my one little secret, I guess. Yep. But it keeps everything from moving around as I move. Like it gives a little leeway.
Oh no, that boy's a girdle on me. It's keeping.
It's a man corset.
It's keeping all the glory held together, like that much solid.
I can't help it but think of Big Hero 6 when they're trying to put the armor on Baymax.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how it feels.
Oh right. Yeah.
Suck it in.
Suck it in, Heimlich.
That's why sometimes you need a spotter to help you. You're like, Squire, zip me, please.
And then
especially if you put your zipper in the back.
No, on the sides.
Get the girth belt. Suck it in. Here we go. And then, but the nice part about my girth belt was my back never hurt because I was basically wearing a back brace for.
It's like a kidney belt where it makes that posture.
You do stand up taller.
And as soon as it comes off, I'm done. I'm good.
I'm going to take off my corset, take off my stuff, and let it all hang out.
Now, we do need to talk about, especially for doing this, the importance of appropriate footwear.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a difference. If you get crap boots and you're on your feet for...
Yes. I can attest to this because the first boots that I got, which I think are still with my first kit, but I don't wear them anymore, were really crappy. I think I got them at a Goodwill and I'm like, these will work because they fit my gigantic calves. But they gave me tendonitis. There was no insole. Even if I added it, they were still awful. They're absolutely awful. And you're on your feet a lot in these kits, whether it be, parades or on the con floor or with kids, you're on your feet. You don't get a lot of time to sit down. So
if you
yes,
sit down.
Comfortable shoes. The new shoes I got are small little ankle boots, but they're like custom fit almost. It feels like they are because they are so comfortable. And then I just wear, what are they called? Gaiters? Like riding gaiters?
Gaiters or half chaps.
Half chaps. That's what I have. I have half chaps. And that gives the illusion of being a boot that I wanted from the boot. But with all the comfort of a good shoe.
I've done the same thing with my last kit, and the kit I'm working on is, I've got a pair of Skechers work boots, which are, have the memory foam insole, and they're so comfortable, and I can be on them for hours at end, and, then zip on some half chaps, and it looks like a tall boot.
Don't sacrifice style for comfort. It's dumb. Don't do it.
Sometimes use a pair of combat boots that I've had for a long time. And they're awesome.
My husband quickly learned not to wear his steel-toed boots for trooping. It was too much weight. And he was like, my shins hurt, not the calf, but my shins, just from like lifting up the foot. Like, yeah, just get something comfy, but follows the rules and can easily be hid to be, in genre, in universe.
The cool thing too is you can also, taking a cue back again from the Mandalorian of, get comfortable shoes. You can make covers for them that will cover up whatever.
Get a loafer, get something comfy.
I've done that. Actually, my Dr. Fate costume it's a pair of
a kitten heel.
It's a men's dress shoe that I just put a cover on that covers the whole thing, turned it into a tall boot, but they're comfortable as all get out, and I can go for hours. So,
boot covers, they're amazing things.
Just hide your laces. No laces.
Hide your laces.
You can get a good tanker boot.
If you can, yeah. Tanker boots are great.
Oh, yeah. I was envious of those Cav Scouts.
Sorry, man. They get tanker boots.
So let's talk gloves, because some people don't do gloves. Some people do full gloves. Some people do fingerless gloves.
Don't you have to do gloves?
You have to have some sort of glove.
Some sort of glove. But what I mean is like full glove or fingerless glove or armored glove, because you can do that nowadays too.
Yeah.
I tried for full gloves, but I hate not having dexterity to be able to do things. And you're like, hold on, let me get a phone call, and you're like,
or like anything.
Yeah.
I also go the fingerless route, and my new kit will have that too, just because I like the dexterity. I just feel like I experience the world more through my hands. So I want that.
Somebody's touchy.
I'm touchy. I'm a very tactile person.
Whereas
both in learning and experience.
I use full finger gloves because, for me it gives the sealed suit appearance.
No touchy. No touchy.
My husband also has sealed gloves, but I feel like he's had a lot of experience with conventions, and the full fingered gloves help avoid concrete like really, really well.
That's one of the things I keep in my one of my pouches. I usually have a little can of Lysol.
I have a tiny, it's flat, that fits in one of my pouches really well, but it's like just a spray sanitizer, which has worked for me enough to keep concrete away, at least when we were able to go to cons.
Yeah. Now you
keep them back with the gun.
Yeah. This thing's heavy.
Stay back.
It's resin.
Start carrying spot putty. I'll throw it at you.
6 feet. 6 feet.
Which that'll be fun to think about too when we get to go back to cons this year, hopefully, of keeping clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, fun. Weathering or no weathering?
Absolutely weathering.
I make too many mistakes to not weather. Too many mistakes.
Again, it goes back to like the stories behind your kit. I adore weathering. My first outing before I was a mercenary, to one of the conventions I went to down in Portland and saw the Mandalorian mercenaries, I'm like, they look so cool with all their weathering. They look like they've been in it, that they've lived it, and that excites me as an armor builder and a costumer, and not a crazy person.
I like both. For me, one, if you're going to do weathering, do it right. Not everything is polka dots or tiger stripes. And but if you're also on the flip side, if you're not going to weather, you're going to be under a lot of scrutiny. Make sure you do it right. That's where I think a lot of the reasons that we do so much weathering in our kits is because it's like, well, this didn't line up. Well, let me weather. I'll put some weathering there instead. And now you got to okay, now I got to carry this through the rest of the kit, because you can't just have one spot of weathering. You got to do the whole kit.
Mm-hmm. Everything has to match, both weathering of kit and weathering of flight suit, and it all has to be cohesive and make sense.
Mm-hmm. Which I've never been a fan of that part, because I wash my stuff.
No, you
it's
don't.
not gonna be dirty.
Nope. Trust me, even if you wash it, it stains.
Some stains, but things also should be able to get replaced. But that's a conversation for a different show, where I want to specifically irritate people on the app team.
John. I mean, I think it's like
Cruiser's he's gonna call me. He's like, you son of a.
What did you do?
No,
I'm a firm believer in weathering, just for like the story it tells, and I just think it looks cool.
It definitely can carry the story, but like I said, the big thing is that everything is one direction. I think one of my biggest complaints with a lot of weathering is every blaster bolt, every scratch, everything goes in one direction. It's like, that's not real life.
That's why the biggest tip that I've heard when it comes to weathering is, if you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over, put it down, come back later, because you've gotten yourself into a rhythm, and that rhythm is too much repetition, and it's showing. So if you find yourself doing that, put it down, come back later. Like, give it a couple hours, go work on something else.
Pay attention to how you bump into things.
Yeah. And how you hold things. Like, that's going to show where things are going to have like oil stains, or like just more dirt and grime. With how are you going to put your helmet on? How are you going to take it off? How do you hold your gun? Is there going to be like rubbing on your holster where you're drawing your gun out all the time? Like,
this part should be clean.
Because you're using it all the time.
And that's actually a part of weathering that people forget about is, it's not just about removing paint. Sometimes things get polished with weathering, because of, the trigger should be shiny.
I think one of my favorite parts of the new kit is the finger lines here. And they're also on this side, because that's where I see myself putting on my helmet and taking it off. But I just love the griminess of it. Like, that shows, at least to me, I'm really proud of myself for doing that, because it makes sense to me.
But it's like you said at the beginning of this, it's in the details, and that shows a detail that's, forethought.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cruiser for that one. He really helped me with that weathering.
Best thing you can do before you start painting is research. Like, go look at old stuff. Like,
go look at old stuff.
Go look at old stuff. Go look at like an old car. No, well,
I found pictures of what just flying wear and tear would do to a plane, and the paint job of a plane.
There you go.
And that's been extremely helpful for like how the paint would chip, what direction it would be in. If you're flying this way, then what does that do to everything behind it? Are you getting stuff knocked? What are those, rock chips doing? There's going to be normal wear and tear just from flying around.
Yeah. Look at the way machinery wears. Look at, the grooves that, look at old cars, look at old machinery, look at anything that, industrial, and how the paint kind of just, you've got that like line of silver right on the edge, and it just
Just because
has
it's
a
been
gradient.
rubbing off in that
Exactly.
area. Yeah. And there's lots of reference out there for sure. I mean, Google is your friend.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's one to grow on.
Yes. The more you know.
That's another one that should be on a shirt.
Google is your friend.
Google is your friend, and that that's one to grow on.
Yes. So what else we got? What else can we talk about with the building of armor and accessories?
Let's see. We talked about soft
Always
parts.
ask somebody.
Yes.
Get a second opinion.
Sometimes a third.
Get a third. Get a fourth. Talk to your Rousselor.
Yes.
That's the key.
Please talk to your Rousselor.
Please talk to your Rousselor. That's what they're there for.
So,
Talk to your Rousselor. Big banner. Show up on the screen.
Flashing lights.
Yes.
No.
I'm going to do it like subliminal. So it's going to be like
you
one
do you.
frame. Yeah. As a former Rousselor, please listen to us.
Wait,
I
please
think
listen.
we've all worn that blue rope at one point or another, and
It's true.
yeah. Listen.
I have mine right here.
Mine is somewhere. That doesn't count.
Leroy's a roost. That's fine.
Yeah.
But don't really listen to him because his armor is made out of craft foam.
Yeah. Don't do that.
He gets medical exemption.
So
What else? Talk to your
That-
Rousselor. That's key because they're going to be the ones that guide you through this, especially towards getting approved. Their whole job in the Mercs is to get you approved.
I
And
am
help
available for reaching out. Please talk to me. I've had a couple of people reach
don't
out
point at me.
in chat.
I'm not pointing at you.
I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess it's different on each screen.
Yeah.
I'm on the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, on my
On mine.
screen, you're right
You,
there.
you,
So.
you guys are like right here.
Stop.
And I'm the recorder, so you're right there.
Stop. Oh, I'm terrible at this.
I'm over here. Nancy's down there
Nope.
by the comments.
Nope.
And Kokoro's right there.
Stop it. I'm trying to. Yeah. This
We're off the rails tonight.
We've lost our minds now. It's
We
fine.
have.
Yep.
You can edit this part out if you don't want to talk about it, Kevin. But since we don't have any good merc work to talk about, we can talk about some upcoming merch.
Oh,
Merch
work.
work. Good
Merc's merch.
That also benefits.
Yes. So, tell us what we've got coming. I'll even let you share the screen if you want to show a picture.
Oh, now we got to share a picture.
Oh my.
Jeez Louise. Hold on. Bantha Poodoo and all this.
For shame.
Frassa.
Okay, you should be able to share now.
Okay. And oh, here we are. So coming very soon.
Very soon.
It's been quartermaster approved.
Yay!
Is the Gurreck Stronger pen.
Love it.
Tell them what they
Benefiting.
win if they purchase a Gurreck Stronger pen. Balin.
Who does it benefit?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. You say it. Yeah, go ahead.
What?
Tell them who it benefits.
This will be benefiting the American Cancer Society.
There we go.
So 50% of all profit from the sale of these pins will be going to the American Cancer Society to help with research into cures and treatment for cancer.
I
They're
couldn't have
so
said
sharp.
it better myself.
Look at it. I love them.
Yeah, they're pretty.
I really like the green outline.
It's quite attractive.
Yeah.
And these will be 2 inches?
They will be 2 inches.
2 inches.
2 inches. I mean, they're huge, huge pins.
That's enough of that.
Sorry. I apologize. You can edit that out.
Thanks to the art team.
Thanks to the art team. Great art job,
Yeah.
art team. Brilliant. Golf clap.
More clapping for the art team.
And we have more merch. Have you gotten that submitted yet?
No,
More merch. No. Okay, then
We
we'll
won't-
wait on it.
You
We
delete
do
that.
have other things coming. So
oh
stay
my
tuned.
gosh, we do.
Yes.
and they're going to be awesome, and they're going to benefit some great organizations.
And they're gonna look really cool.
They will look really cool.
Of course they are. And we should be returning to trooping status in October, if not something sooner, hopefully.
Possibly.
But come look for us at King Con Northwest in Renton and October
Renton.
30th and 31st.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm Balin.
I'm Kokro.
And I'm Anansi.
And this has been the Gurreck Show.
Bye.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Sort of. What?
We were off the rails tonight.
A little
But it was
bit.
fun.
A little
Probably
bit.
for the best.
It was fun though.
Probably.